Namaste, y'all. Becca, YogaBex Cummings. Excited to share with you today all about the sheaths that cover your soul. So we have the concept of body, mind, and spirit, right? And in the yoga philosophy, in the Upanishads, these ancient texts, we also have what's outlined for us a way to understand our experience as a human through what are called the 5 bodies, okay? And so that's what we're going to go over today, and then over the next course of the next few weeks, we're going to dive into each one of these bodies a little bit deeper, as well as specific practices to help bring those different bodies into balance, as well as ways to access or portals to your soul, to experiencing your essence and your soul. So I'm really excited to share this content with you today. It's something I love to talk about. I'm going to try to keep it short and sweet. And then again, we're going to dive into each one of these koshas or sheaths over the next few weeks together. Okay? So starting with our physical body, that is the sheath known as Anandamyakosha, which Anna literally means food, so composed of food. And the physical body is, basically an accumulation of the food, the actual physical food that we eat. It's the grossest form of our being. It's dense, we can touch it, experience it, but it is not us. We can know it, we can see it, experience it, but there is something that is experiencing it, right? And that's your soul. It is a map, essentially, for the other bodies, meaning that experiences of the other more subtle bodies or sheaths can get lodged in the physical body, and we'll talk more about that here in a moment. But it's the grossest, most dense body, Anandamyakosha. And it relates to, again, food, movement, exercise, things that relate to our actual physical form, our body temple. And I have this little thing set up over here. Let me adjust the camera a little bit to help demonstrate. Oh, that's not going to work. To help demonstrate, there we go. To help demonstrate the different shields. I'll just kind of do a squat. Okay, so, and these are interpenetrating sheaths or layers or bodies of the being that, again, quote unquote, cover the soul. And it's not really like they're that separate. Again, they interpenetrate each other, and the soul can be experienced through each of the bodies. And as we travel through each of these layers or bodies, it gets us closer and closer to actually being one with our essence or our soul, our true nature. Okay, so we have the physical sheath, which we just talked about, Anandamyakosha, and then moving into the next sheath, which would be Pranamaya, the energy body, the life force body that relates to the breath. It relates to the chakras, the energy centers in the body. It relates to the meridians that are used in acupuncture and acupressure. And it also, according to some, relates to hunger and thirst. Because if you think about it, when we're hungry, we're seeking energy. And same thing with thirsty, where that hydration helps us move energy through the body. So it's a more subtle, it's the first of the 3 subtle bodies, Pranamaya, and can be experienced through the breath, through actual energy, feeling energized or drained, things like that. And again, relates to the chakra system and relates to meridian lines in the physical body that actually have huge potential for improving the flow of the energy through body, mind, and spirit. So that's Pranamaya-kosha, the life force body or the energy body. And next we have Manomaya-kosha, the next sheath or layer. And Manomaya-kosha relates to the lower mind, our likes and dislikes, our emotions. And I used a little Cowboys scarf for this, so I like the Cowboys. So likes and dislikes. It's our attachments and aversions, our desires, things like that. And so again, it's when you think about the personality, persona is a word that translates as mask. And when, originally with theater, people were wearing masks to convey a certain persona or character, right? And so it's the same thing with our personality, likes, dislikes, moods, temperaments, things like that. So that relates to what's called the lower mind. And again, you can have that experience of being able to observe and witness that, but also knowing that there's some part of you that is the knower, that is the observer, the witness, okay? And that's the soul level that we're getting closer and closer to as we move through the subtle bodies. So far we have the physical body, the most gross, dense aspect of our being. Then we have the energy body. We have the Pranamaya-kosha, which relates to the breath and the chakras and things like that. And we have the lower mind. And then we have another aspect of mind, which is our intellect. Okay, so our intellect and our ability to discriminate, our wisdom body. It's where our beliefs are stored, and also relates to our intuition, how you can sometimes just know things. You have this inner knowing available to you a lot of times. And right now you're using your intellect, you're using your Annamaya-kosha, your intellect body to listen and understand these concepts. So it's something also that we use to learn new things and make those synaptic connections in the brain. Let's see here. Yeah, beliefs, perceptions, our wisdom, our inner knowing, the knowledge or the intellect body. And then moving from the subtle body a little bit more into closer to the soul, the sheath that's closest to the soul is called Anandamyakosha. And Ananda is a word that means bliss, so composed of bliss. And have you ever had an experience where you're just filled with bliss or filled with love or joy or ecstasy, like that blissful experience? That is the bliss body. And again, that's closest to your true nature, your soul, which is unchanging. It's the witness. It's able to observe and witness these different experiences. And when we have that deep sleep, when we have a really restful night of deep sleep, that we're resting in that bliss body or Anandamyakosha. And you can also have nights, right, where you have a lot of turbulence, a lot of dreams or different things coming up. And that's those other bodies, coming into your experience. So the bliss body, Anandamyakosha, I slept like a log or I slept like a baby. It's the absence of intellect, the absence of these other things or discomfort in the physical body, where you get a really good night's sleep. And one of the practices that's most effective for aligning these different layers and levels of our being, getting them more into alignment, removing blocks to energy flow through them so they're operating together in harmony, is the practice of sleep of the yogi, Yoga Nidra, which I'm excited to offer. I've been offering these and I'm offering another one today, Yoga Nidra practice this afternoon. It's a very relaxing guided meditation that moves you through these koshas. We go through the physical body, we go through the life force, the energy body, and the breath and the chakras. We go through the lower mind and the emotions and sensations, perceptions, and we go through the intellect, your wisdom body and beliefs and things like that. And we move closer and closer to this bliss body, uniting with the bliss body, resting in it, enjoying it. And as we get closer and closer, as we remove that final sheath, you're resting in your true nature, one with your true nature, that unchanging awareness that is your soul, your essence. It's unchanging, and it witnesses these different experiences, the bliss body, experiences of joy and bliss. We have the intellect, our beliefs, our inner knowing, our wisdom, our ability to learn new things, make those synaptic connections. We have our emotions, our likes and dislikes, our perceptions, sensations, things like that. We have our energy body, the life force, the chakra system, energy or electricity moving through the body. And then we have the physical body, right? And because the physical body is the most dense form of these different bodies or koshas, things can get stuck in there. Different experiences from other bodies, mostly, the intellect, the lower mind, the energy body, even within the physical to the physical, those are the things where we can have stickiness. We can have ruts that form. We can have blocks to energy flow and things like that, where it's hard. We get so consumed with the physical body that it's hard to connect to our essence, and we can't become blocked from it. But as we do this practice of Yoga Nidra, we're moving sequentially in a really beautiful, relaxing, profound way through the physical body, connecting to the energy body, improving flow of energy through the body, through the breath, through those energy lines and energy centers, through the lower mind, our tendency to get caught up in sensations or moods, likes, dislikes, things like that, desires. We move through the intellect, through the beliefs, through the intuition, the inner knowing, and we move into that bliss body, which is the closest body to the soul, okay? And we rest in pure awareness in alignment with our true nature, which is the soul. So I invite you all to check that out. If you can't be there live today, it's at 3 p.m. Central. If you can't attend live, you can still just sign up for it. You purchase access right on Facebook, and once you purchase access, you have access to that, as far as I can tell, forever, as long as Facebook's around. So once you make that $9.99 purchase, you have access to that practice. And I am offering this on Wednesdays and Sundays. I change it up a little bit each time, but I tell you what, I've practiced Yoga Nidra for a long, long time now, and I use recordings. So I listen to a recording, guide myself through it, and there's recordings I have that I've listened to that, probably hundreds of times at this point, and there'll still be like a little piece of it, like I have never consciously heard that piece before or had that experience through this. So it's not so much about the content, it's about the practice. It's about showing up for yourself and connecting to your soul and your essence in this really profoundly healing way. So I invite you to join after this live stream is over. I'm going to hop into the comments and put a link for you to join the Siesta Yoga today, and it helps us release that stress, anxiety. If you've had some trauma in this life, it helps release post-traumatic stress from your systems and realign those different sheaths or bodies that our soul illuminates itself through and enlivens through. So thank you so much for tuning in. Again, next week we're going to go sequentially over the next 5 weeks and dive into each one of these bodies and these sheaths a little deeper. So next week we're going to be talking about the physical body, and I have a really amazing opportunity for you next week in regard to the physical body as well. So tune in for Siesta Yoga today if you can. And again, if you can't be there live, just go ahead and grab your ticket, and then you can carve out 50 minutes later on today or this evening. You can even invite people that you live with to join you, and you can get all comfortable and listen and connect to your soul and your essence in this way and heal those disconnects in the other bodies, realign everything, get back to your true nature. Thank you so much for being here, for tuning in, and sending you much love and light. Namaste, y'all.